All right, hello and welcome to our sports science presentations. I'm Austin Ross. I am the strength conditioning coach at Attack Sports. We have compiled five different sports science presentations, kind of going over the controllable factors that you can kind of take a grasp on to affect your performance. So, first up, we've got training, we've got nutrition coming, sleep, recovery, and then mindset. So, let's strap in. Yeah, this is my favorite one because I'm the strength coach. We're not going to talk about hockey performance per se. We're talking about getting better in the gym, looking at data. What does our data mean? And things like that. So, first off, just want to go over testing because a lot of people will test and not have any idea what the point of testing is. They say, okay, we're going to show up. We're going to do these tests. Great. And then we just never see the data again, never know what it means, never know why we would use it. So, if we look at hockey, this is what hockey looks like to me as a strength coach. Again, I'm not a skills coach. You don't want to learn how to take a wrist shot from me. When I look at hockey, I can split it up into these groups. So lower and upper strength. I think we can all agree that hockey is a very strength dominated game. You need to be strong. You need to be powerful. You need speed and agility, of course. And then you need the aerobic capacity or the stamina or endurance to be able to express those other qualities the whole way through a game. So when I say what's the point of testing, again, it's nice to see the progress. It's nice for you to okay, yeah, the training is working. I'm getting faster. I'm getting stronger. Um, but selfishly, it's really for me. I need to know how you stack up in each category so then I can set a program for you to work on your weaknesses. So that's kind of the point of testing to me. When we look at our testing batteries, so what you guys will have all have gone through at this point, we can see how each test is going to relate to one of the qualities. So lower body strength, we use the trap bar 3 rep max test. I have IMTP here, that's isometric mid thigh pull, but we use trap bar 3 rep max, divide it by your body weight, and we get a strength score. So that's how many times your body weight you're squatting. Upper body strength, we use chin ups, gives me a broad idea of where we're at for our strength through the upper section. We've got the vertical jump test for power. So that's the hands on hips counter movement jump that we do. 10-meter sprint for speed, pro agility test for agility, and then everyone's favorite, the beep test for the aerobic capacity or stamina again. So that's kind of how we go through each test and say, yep, if they can check all these boxes, then great, we're going to keep working at them. What's the worst one of these qualities? That's what we're going to kind of work on, which brings me to the next point here. This is what you will have all gotten in your data presentation. So this is a Z-score comparison chart. So yours might look something like this. It might look much different. This is pretty much showing the black line is the standard. So for each age group, for each test, I have a standard. So say for your trap bar squat at a U13 level, should be squatting 1.5 times your body weight. So if you're squatting more than 1.5 times your body weight, you would be above the line. If you're squatting below 1.5 times your body weight, you'd be below your line. So we do that for every single test. And it turns out to be this. And this is what I look at as a coach to see what your weakness is. What could we improve the most? So for this athlete, their strength numbers, their upper body strength, good. They hammer out the chin ups. Lower body strength, we're kind of right on par with what that standard is. Again, the standard is pretty aggressive. So it kind of expect your scores to be below the line right now. If you haven't been doing any training, expect your scores to be below the line. And then it's our job to work together to get as many of those scores kind of pushed up above the line as possible. But don't feel discouraged if your numbers are below the line, because that's very normal. But for this particular athlete, they're super strong or strong enough, and it's the other things that are kind of holding them back. So their power is really weak. They're not jumping very high. they're pretty slow, not very agile, and they can't express these qualities over a long period of time. So for that athlete, we'd say, okay, we can kind of lay off the strength. Strength is never a bad thing. It's going to raise the ceiling for the others, but we can focus more on faster movements, speed mechanics, agility mechanics, jumping, more high output stuff than the strength. When we look at an athlete like this, complete opposite. So all of a sudden their strength numbers are super low, -3 standard deviations on both of them. Whereas their speed and agility are actually kind of right around the line. You don't see this too often because strength usually has to come first. You have to be able to produce the force or produce the strength into the ground to be able to move quick. But this athlete, super snappy, super fast, but strength is kind of holding them back. So if we load them up, they're going to raise their potential to get even faster, to be stronger on the puck, to be more powerful. So that's kind of how it shifts. So when I look at each team's data, I go through and can kind of compile them all and see where the team is at. What can the team benefit the most from? So with all that being said, what is training? We've tested, great. I want to go through the basic framework of this in case it's your first time training, which is awesome. It's the best place to be. It's the best place to get better. But essentially, all that training is picking something that could make you better at your sport. Strength. Boom. That last example, strength could make them better at their sport. Then you're gonna just beat the heck out of your body, and make it really strong. You're gonna tear it down essentially. The muscle fibers break, your nervous system gets fried, you're kind of more sluggish the next day. But when you recover, you're gonna come back up to a higher state of performance. So that's all this graph is showing right here. So on the far left of the graph, you're at your baseline. That's where you're starting at. That's your performance level. When you exercise, you're going to go down because you're getting fatigued, you're getting metabolic accumulation, you're getting muscle fiber breakage. So your performance is going to take a dip. But as you give it time to recover, this is the awesome thing about the body. When you give it time to recover, it comes back up and it says, yeah, that sucked when everything got broken down. I want to not have that happen again. I'm going to strengthen my tendons, my ligaments, my muscles. I'm going to be able to contract my muscles faster or more complete altogether. So then it comes up to a higher level of resting performance. If you then go and not do any exercise for a couple of weeks, you're going to go right back down to that baseline. But if you space your lifts out, maybe 1 or 2 days in between, you're going to have that time to recover. Then you can beat it down again, recover again. And all of a sudden you're trending in the right direction. You're trending to where we want to be in terms of your performance. The other side of that is going to be overtraining. So overtraining is when you pretty much don't give your body the time that it needs to adapt. So you beat the heck out of it and then starts to adapt, starts to recover, and then you work out again. You just do 5 leg days in a row. All of a sudden, your body can't catch up. That's when you get injured. Your performance isn't going up just because you're doing all this work. And that's why recovery is so important. And that's why when we write our programs, we want them to be spaced out in a fashion that makes sense. So try and space them out. If you're in the spring or summer programs here, that's how it's going to be. So we don't end up in that overtraining state. Again, we aren't weightlifters. Our sport, if lifting the most amount of weight on your back would make you a better hockey player, everyone would be doing it. The Olympic or the power lifters would be the best hockey players in the world. The reality is it's not. It's a lot about skill. The weight room is a chance to get better, but it's not the be all end all. We're trying to fill the gaps in here. So everything that we do is tailored to making you a better hockey player. I don't really care what numbers you're putting up in the gym. I want a good hockey player. The other reason we're training is injury prevention. I put this in quotations. We play a very fast, a very high contact sport. injuries are going to happen. If somebody is trying to sell you their training program and say, yeah, you'll bulletproof your knees or your shoulders, they're lying to you. The reality is, I don't care how great of shape you are. If the force exerted on your bones or your muscles or joints is greater than the force that you can counteract it, something's got to give. So what training is doing is it's giving you a better chance to not get injured. So if somebody has never trained before, their muscles are weak, their bones are frail, their ligaments haven't had much collagen buildup, they're not going to be able to resist that as much as you. So you're not guaranteed to not get injured, but your likelihood of it is less. So what are we training? Again, just going over this graph again, this is exactly what we're going to be training. Plus we'll be trying to put a little bit of size on as well. Because again, the more armor you have built up around you, the less chance of injury you're going to have. What good training looks like. I love this photo. This guy's hilarious on Instagram, but it's honestly not too far off of what you'd see some Instagram gurus doing for their training their athletes. So this is not what good training looks like. When I was in high school, I went through it where I started training and I would just do random stuff, whatever I saw on the internet. And I didn't make any significant gains until I had a program in university that progressed how I needed it to. So try not to have just a whatever. Let's do back squats today. And then tomorrow, for no particular reason, we're going to do front squats, just as an example. So compiling random workouts that you see on Instagram, not good. It's not going to give you optimal results. Might end up overtraining, might look stupid like this guy. Following a well written training program that progresses, that's a key point. Have to keep getting better, or else your body will adapt, and then it won't adapt any further. You have to keep either adding more weight, slowing the tempo down, speeding the tempo up, doing something to progress the exercise. Target specific stimuli. So if you're trying to get strong and fast and powerful all at the same time, it's going to be not as optimal. You're not going to be able to do all those things at once. And relates to becoming a better athlete or better at your sport. So this is key. All of my athletes doing somersaults and cartwheels and stuff. This is just building a general athlete. If you put, say, Tyreek Hill as a football player, one of the best athletes in the world on skates, and said, this is the goal of the game. And if he learned how to skate, he'd be a great hockey player because he's a great athlete. We're trying to build overall athletes that'll succeed at the sport. So how I plan on making you better, this is going to be a longer term approach. This is going to be kind of a zoomed out, if you consistently kind of trained here or followed this type of system of training, this is how you would be getting better in the gym. So we're not going to go over the whole graph, but I want you to think about the term long-term athletic development and think, it doesn't matter how good you are when you're 13. It might seem like it right now, but at the end of the day, if you're 16, 17, and all of a sudden your skills coming through because you built a solid base of athletic movement, strength, power, speed, agility, if you've built all that up and you've got the skills, people are going to notice. It doesn't matter if you get cut from a team right now. People will always find skill. Now, my goal here is to make you really good when you're about 17 to 20. If you continue to play, then great. That's what we want. But the important thing to know is there's a plan that's going to span over the long term. So don't go trying to chase just short-term success through our testing or anything like that. We're trying to make you a better athlete overall that's going to have a long, successful career. Take you as far as you want to go. In the short term, this is all it is. This is what I'm doing, that I'm going to try my best to make you a better athlete, you better at hockey. So first up, evaluate weaknesses, testing. Boom. What are you bad at? Find what you're bad at, do what you're bad at. That makes you better. If strength is your lowest hanging fruit, if strength is going to be the thing that if we improve is going to make you a better hockey player, that's what we're going to do. Say we do that for a couple weeks, 4 or 5 weeks. Now we test again and your strength has gone up a little bit. Great. Now your lowest hanging fruit might be speed. We're going to hammer speed and we just keep going. It's what's the next thing that we need to work on? We're going to hammer that. What's the next thing? Keep chucking. Okay. So that's my whole job right there is evaluate, train, evaluate. So what do you need to do? Gone through kind of what I can do. I can only do so much though. If you had the best, say it's hypothetical, this is just the best program for you. It's got everything that you need. All the movements work really well with you. And then you don't do it, or you don't give full effort when you're doing it. It's not a good program. That's not how you're going to get better. You need to give full effort in everything that you do in the weight room. So yeah, this kind of comes to my next point. Max focus and max effort. That's all I ask from you. The gym is kind of the great equalizer for all athletes because it doesn't matter how much playing time you're getting, what level you're at. Everyone can get better. Everyone's trying to get better. Everyone has things that they need to improve. So it kind of equalizes everybody. But if you're not giving your full effort, then you're going to fall behind very quickly. So all I ask is focus, give max effort, try new things. If I have you doing a somersault, you've never done a somersault before, try it. If you fail, that's awesome. We'll laugh at you for a second, then we'll support you to get through it. Compete with others. This is such a key thing. We're going to talk about this in the mindset portion, but the best athletes are the competitors. If you look at the Michael Jordans of the world, the Kobe Bryants of the world, the Tom Brady's of the world, Serena Williams, they're just unreal competitors. They will do anything to win. And if you're a competitor, you're going to go very far in sports, and then you're going to go very far in other things too. Last piece is consistency. Please just, whenever you can, show up. I get it. People have vacations or things come up. That's okay. But whenever you can make it, the more often that you can make it in, the better off you're going to be. And the more you're going to get, the more you're going to get out of it. So maybe for half of the sessions, you give full effort, you show up and laser focused, but then the other half of them, you don't come in, or you come in, but you're not giving it your all. It's just not going to work the same. Last one, a little Ron Burgundy. Training like an athlete is super fun, and being able to jump around and sprint and lift heavy things and be in kind of the team environment or the training environment is awesome. Having goals and training towards those goals, just there's nothing like it. So don't take it for granted. Try new things out. And yeah, consistency, effort, and the dirty work are kind of gonna be what gives you the best results overall. So yeah, that's it for training. And yeah, stay tuned for the coming sports science resources here.